This final video will be about building reports. They're pretty easy, but there are some important refinements to learn. The first thing you have to be very careful about is make sure you have your data source selected before you begin. If you don't want your report to be about a query, don't have a query highlighted. Make sure that your table is highlighted if you want to see all your data. Then click the Create tab on the ribbon. Once you're on the Create part of the ribbon, go over to the Reports area and click on the Report button. Now we need to narrow down the fields to just the fields that are supposed to be in this report. And for this assignment, I needed the name, the species, the adoption date, and the adoption price. So I need to delete some of these fields. I'll click on the title of the first field name that I want to get rid of. Then I'll go to the Arrange tab. I'll click on Select Column, and then I'll hit the Delete key on my keyboard. I also need to get rid of the intake date. I'll click the title, I'll click Select Column, hit Delete on my keyboard. I'm going to make these first two fields a little narrower. I'll click on Critter Name, and then I'll move my mouse till I get a double-headed arrow so that I can change the width of that. I'll do the same thing with species, so I can change the width of that. I'm going to keep adoption date. I'm going to keep adoption price. I do need to get rid of special diet, so I'll click on the title, Arrange tab, Select Column, Delete key on my keyboard. I'm going to get rid of this column, Extra Comments, click the title, Arrange tab, Select Column, hit the Delete key on my keyboard. Now I have just the fields that are specified for this report. Notice that the page number indicator is sort of slipping off the page. I'm going to click on it, and then with the four-headed arrow, just drag it back onto page 1 so it doesn't look halfway when the report gets run. The next thing I need to do is change this calculation at the bottom of the adoption price column to an average instead of a sum. I'm going to make it a little easier to see too, make it a little bigger. With that highlighted, I now go to the Design tab on the ribbon where it says Totals. Do you see how it is summing? I want it to average that price. So now I'm getting an average price for that column. I also need to sort that data. I'm going to click on the Group and Sort button, and then I'm going to click over here where I will add a sort. I'm going to identify that I'm sorting adoption price. Notice that it defaults to smallest to largest, an ascending sort, but for this assignment we need a descending sort, so I will change that from largest to smallest. Now this is blocking my view at the moment, so I'm going to come over here. Don't click this X. I don't want to delete my sort. I just want to close this window. I'm going to click this little X so I can see my full window again. The last thing I need to do now is to change the title of my report. I will click up on the existing title. I'll click one more time to get a flashing cursor. I will delete the existing title. And this is the animal shelter list. Now my report is pretty well done. Let's see what it looks like. I'll go to the View button and I'll click on Report View, and there's my report. It looks pretty good. I'm going to save it. I'll click the Save button in the Quick Access toolbar. That brings down a dialog box where I can type in the name, and I will type Animal Shelter List. I'll click OK. There's my new report right down there. I'll close this view, and now I can run it anytime. And just like queries, reports are dynamic. If I get new animals, they will show the next time I run the report.